Have you ever felt like the world was against you? Like every door you knocked on was slammed shut in your face? If you have, then this story is for you. It's a story about a little boy who had every reason to give up, but chose to fight instead. Once upon a time, in a small, forgotten village nestled between towering mountains, lived a young boy named Leo. Leo's family was one of the poorest in the village. Their home was a tiny, dilapidated hut that groaned with every gust of wind, and often their only meal for the day was a thin, watery soup. His father worked tirelessly in the fields, his hands rough and calloused, while his mother mended old clothes for the wealthier villagers, her fingers pricked and sore. Leo was a bright boy, with eyes that sparkled with curiosity. He dreamed of a life beyond the muddy lanes and thatched roofs of his village. He yearned to learn, to read books filled with tales of faraway lands and incredible discoveries. But in his village, education was a luxury, a privilege reserved for those who could afford it. The village school, a single-room building with a leaky roof, demanded a fee that was more than his family earned in a month. Every morning, Leo would watch as the other children, dressed in their clean uniforms, walked to school, their laughter echoing in the air. He would hide behind a large oak tree, clutching a worn-out, discarded book he had found near the village market. It was his most prized possession. He couldn't read the words, but he would trace the letters with his small finger, imagining the stories they held. One day, the village elder announced a scholarship competition. The winner would be granted a full year of schooling for free. For Leo, this was more than just a competition. It was a glimmer of hope, a single ray of sunshine breaking through the dark clouds of his life. He knew his chances were slim. He couldn't read or write like the other children, but the fire in his heart burned brighter than his fear. He decided he would try. He approached the village teacher, a stern-looking but kind-hearted man named Mr. Alastair. "Sir," Leo said, his voice barely a whisper, "I want to enter the competition, but I don't know how to read." Mr. Alastair looked down at the small, determined boy. He saw the hunger for knowledge in Leo's eyes and was moved. He gave Leo a stack of old papers and a piece of charcoal. "The competition is in 1 month," he said. "Learn as much as you can. Come to me after school every day, and I will help you." For the next month, Leo's life changed completely. His days were a whirlwind of hard work. He helped his father in the fields from sunrise, his small body aching with exhaustion. In the afternoons, he would run to the school, where Mr. Alastair would teach him the alphabet and the basics of reading and writing. At night, by the dim light of a single candle, he would practice, his fingers stained black with charcoal, until he fell asleep on the cold floor, the papers clutched in his hand. The other children mocked him. "Look at the dirty boy trying to be a scholar," they would jeer. "You'll never win. You belong in the fields." Their words stung, but Leo refused to let them extinguish his spirit. He remembered his father's words. "Son, it doesn't matter where you start. What matters is the direction you are heading, and the strength of your will." The day of the competition arrived. The schoolroom was filled with anxious children and their proud parents. Leo, in his patched-up clothes, stood out like a sore thumb. He felt a knot of fear tighten in his stomach. He looked over at Mr. Alastair, who gave him a subtle, encouraging nod. The test was difficult. There were questions about history, mathematics, and literature. Leo struggled. There were many things he didn't know, things he hadn't had time to learn. But for every question he couldn't answer, he found one he could. He remembered the long nights spent memorizing multiplication tables and the afternoons spent tracing letters until they were etched into his memory. He poured every ounce of his effort onto the paper. When the results were announced a week later, the entire village gathered. The elder stood on a wooden platform, holding a piece of paper. He cleared his throat. "The winner of this year's scholarship is ... double quotes." The crowd held its breath. Leo, A stunned silence fell over the crowd, followed by whispers of disbelief. Leo couldn't believe his ears. He looked at his parents, their faces wet with tears of joy. He had done it. Against all odds, he had won. His journey wasn't over. It had just begun. School was harder than he ever imagined. He was far behind his classmates and had to work twice as hard just to keep up. The teasing didn't stop. But Leo was no longer the same boy who hid behind a tree. He was a boy who had tasted the sweetness of victory after a bitter struggle. He knew the value of hard work and the power of perseverance. He devoured every book he could get his hands on. He stayed late after school, asking Mr. Allister endless questions. He excelled, slowly but surely closing the gap between him and his peers. Years passed. The small boy grew into a confident young man. He not only finished his schooling in the village, but also earned a scholarship to a prestigious university in the city. The day he left the village, the same people who had once mocked him came to see him off, their faces filled with respect and admiration. He had become a symbol of hope, a testament to the fact that circumstances do not define a person's destiny. Leo's story is a powerful reminder to all of us. Life will knock you down. It will present you with obstacles that seem insurmountable. People may doubt you, they may mock you, and you may even start to doubt yourself. There will be moments when giving up seems like the easiest, most sensible option. But in those moments, remember Leo. Remember the fire in his eyes, the charcoal on his fingers, and the unwavering belief in his dream. Your background, your financial situation, your past failures. None of these things have the power to define your future unless you let them. The only thing that truly matters is your will to keep going. The strength to get up one more time than you've been knocked down. Every small step, every bit of effort, every lesson learned from failure is a victory in itself. It's building the foundation for your eventual success. So, whatever your dream is, whether it's starting a business, learning a new skill, or simply becoming a better version of yourself, don't you dare give up. Embrace the struggle. Let it make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Your journey might be long and arduous, but the view from the top will be worth every single step. Believe in yourself, work hard, and never, ever give up. Thank you for watching.